Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to take a look at another trim level of the 2026 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid, this time the SEL Convenience. Now this is in fact the trim level that received the most changes across any Tucson here for 26 for both the gas and the hybrid. And if you haven't seen my dedicated changes video where I go trim by trim, tell you all of the exact features, options, and packaging that is being added or removed across the lineup, make sure you guys check that video out. There's a lot of helpful, useful information, but obviously today we're going to be taking a more in-depth look at the SEL Convenience in my favorite exterior color, Cashmere Bronze, which looks absolutely fantastic. But for 2026, they essentially are carrying over most of the trim levels. Some did get renamed, which we will have additional content coming on, and they did drop the hybrid N line entirely here from the US market, so you can no longer get that for the Tucson, which is a little bit of a bummer because that one looked fantastic in terms of exterior and interior appearance. But there are going to be some other tweaks, including here on the SEL Convenience, discontinuing features entirely from the hybrid lineup or making you go all the way up to the fully loaded limited to get them, which is much more expensive than this vehicle, in fact, which we'll talk about towards the end of today's video. But without further ado, let's not waste time. Take a look at what the updated SEL Convenience Hybrid has to offer for right around $36,000. So the Tucson Hybrid SEL Convenience in front of me is finished in the Cashmere Bronze exterior with the black H-Tex synthetic leather on the inside. Just a reminder, this is a hybrid exclusive exterior color within the Tucson's lineup. However, you can get a variety of interior colors depending on the trim level that you are looking at. Now, in terms of exterior appearance for this year, it's going to be mostly a carryover from the 2025 refresh that did occur last year. However, those with a keen eye specific to this trim level will notice some big changes and features that Hyundai unfortunately did remove for 26. Now, starting at the front end, you will find full LED lighting for your LED reflector headlights for both the low and high beam down here. You have LED turn signals in this upper portion, as well as the LED daytime running lights flanking either side of the gray metallic grille. Down below, you have a little bit of bright silver trim in this portion that runs across the entire front fascia, as well as the bottom section, and then a mix of that gunmetal gray and matte black plastic trim for the front grille section. You have the radar for the smart cruise control, which comes standard on every Tucson here on the passenger side, and unfortunately no 360 cameras or anything like that on this particular one. If you do want that, you will have to go up to a fully loaded limited. Now, coming around to the side profile of this one, you will have the same exact 18-inch alloy wheel with the matte black plastic cladding on the exterior as that of 2025 models. And coming in a little bit closer, this is going to be a gunmetal gray with a polished machine finish wheel wrapped in a Nexen Rhodian GTX all-season tire in a 235/60 18-inch in size. It is going to be a slightly different tire than the gas Tucson equivalent with the same exact wheel design. For whatever reason, Hyundai mixes tire manufacturers for the hybrid and the gas models, likely due to where they're built. You have body color mirror caps with LED turn signal integration. There is no longer any of that bright silver trim here on the bottom sides of the mirror compared to the gas vehicles. No cameras or puddle lights, but the mirrors themselves are going to be heated. Do have blind spot detection as standard. And then coming to the door handles, this is going to be one of the biggest changes, is you no longer have Hyundai Digital Key 2.0 Premium. This is the standard proximity entry, so you can no longer use your phone or compatible device to control, unlock, or drive the vehicle like you were in the last year. Still have the tinted windows out back with that bright silver trim at the very top. And speaking of the top, you still have roof rails. However, there is no longer any sort of power sunroof on the SEL Convenience for the hybrid lineup, as Hyundai did remove the panoramic type that was formerly on this vehicle entirely. So if you want a sunroof, you will have to go all the way up to a limited hybrid for 2026, as the lesser trims of the hybrid no longer offer that either as standard or an option. Now, coming out to the rear of the vehicle, you'll still find the LED tail lights and running lights at the very top housing, with your incandescent reverse lights and turn signals at the very bottom of the rear bumper. A little bit of bright silver trim and cladding. You have the flat stainless steel Tucson logo here on the left side. Backup camera, of course, as standard, with the updated revised Hyundai logo behind the actual glass itself, with your windshield wiper located up underneath the spoiler, and then H-Track hybrid on the passenger side, as every hybrid does come standard with all-wheel drive. And overall, you can see the exterior appearance is going to be mostly a carryover, with a couple big features removed here on the exterior, and also that does continue onto the inside as well, which we will be discussing here over the next few minutes. But let's go and take a quick look at the window sticker so you guys know exactly how this one was equipped before jumping onto the inside. So take a look at the window sticker. The SEL Convenience is the second highest trim level within the Tucson Hybrid lineup for this year, as they did discontinue the N line from last year, as well as add a new base SE Hybrid, which was formerly not available. Now, as I mentioned, the SEL Convenience lost a handful of features over that of the 2025 equivalent, including that panoramic power sunroof, the more advanced highway drive assist with Smart Cruise Control 2 technology, and I will have the additional information up on the screen so you guys can see exactly what is going to be missing from this vehicle. Now, with that being said, it still has a lot of nice features and options, including the H-Tex heated front seats. You have a power driver seat, hands-free smart power liftgate with the standard proximity entry, still have Smart Cruise Control 1, which is very nice on every Tucson, and the 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. Now, this one has a few additional accessories on it, which brings the total MSRP, including destination, to $37,295, and the hybrids are still assembled overseas in Korea. So take a look on the interior. This one has the black H-Tex synthetic leather, but there is going to be a light gray option available as well, depending on the exterior that you do choose. Starting out here on the door panel, this is going to be the more basic door card design within the Tucson's lineup, with a little bit less soft touch materials. So up top, this is going to be a hard touch textured plastic. You have a little bit of soft touch with accent stitching in the middle. This is going to be mimicking a cloth material, but it is going to be hard plastics with a soft touch padded armrest in this vicinity right here. You have power windows, mirrors, and locks, with both of the two front windows being fully automatic up-down, bright silver accent door handle pull, a good amount of lower door storage with a bottle holder, and then the standard 6-speaker audio system. Now, coming to the driver's seat, it's going to be fully power with two-way power lumbar. There's going to be the perforated black H-Tex with the matching stitching. No silver accent in the backrest portion like the Limited, and there's going to be a look at the updated dashboard, which was revised for 2025. So here in the interior of the SEL Convenience, this is going to look very similar to that of the 2025 models with the updated hardware and software. However, you are going to be missing a few additional features that was found last year. Now, in front of the driver, you're going to find the 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster paired to the 12.3-inch CCNC Lite infotainment system, which means you can configure this cluster a little bit more so than that of the standard one. Now, this is controlled here on the left side of the steering wheel. On the left side, you have your speedometer, right side tachometer or power meter. For hybrids, you can see your little EV hybrid indicator as well as gear selection, outside ambient temperature, your eco or dry mode selection with the driver assist in the middle, and speed sign recognition. Now, pressing the toggle one time, you can bring up your tire pressure. You have the H-Track all-wheel drive power distribution, hybrid idle mode, or what the vehicle is actually doing in its current status, trip information, fuel economy, all the usual stuff that you'd expect, including the engine coolant temperature as well. And then that's basically going to be it. Now, coming back to the steering wheel, this is going to be a black leather wrap steering wheel. Unfortunately, not heated in the Convenience, but you do have the 4-dot logo, 3-spoke design. Very nice in their updated models. And on the left side, you have the Smart Cruise Control 1, or the more basic driver assist safety suite, as Hyundai did remove Highway Drive Assist 2 and some of the more advanced driver assist from this particular trim level for this year. So you still have lane fall assist, adaptive cruise, all of it works very nice, but you are missing the forward attention monitor that previously came with the more advanced driver assist that is still found on some of the higher trim levels on the gas and the Limited for the hybrid. On the right side, you have the audio multimedia. Backside, you have paddle shifters to change the different regen modes between the system for the hybrid. And then you have automatic headlights, auto high beam assist, and then just regular power intermittent wipers. And then you do have the column mounted gear shift, which is standard on every hybrid, to free up the console and give you a little bit of additional storage space. To the left of the steering wheel, we have gauge dimming, electronic parking brake, power trunk, traction control off, as well as the 12-volt battery reset, so you can jump the vehicle from itself, which is a very nice handy feature that this does have. Silver accent trim, a little bit of soft touch cloth, and then across the dashboard, mostly just textured plastics. And coming over here to the infotainment system, this is again one of the features that was changed. As previously it had the CCNC navigation with built-in navigation. However, that has been removed and it just has the basic CCNC Lite, which still has wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth inputs. It just no longer has the built-in map, so you will have to use your phone for built-in maps on the actual screen itself. You do have the dedicated hybrid pages, baby drive mode, all the usual stuff that I did showcase in some of the other videos here on the channel. Overall, I think this is very easy to navigate and easy to use. Below that, you have the physical hard touch buttons with a small touchscreen interface for your heated seats and some of the climate controls. Dual zone automatic climate control still found here. You still have color selectable ambient interior lighting, which you can see down there in that storage pocket. USB-C data charge 12-volt outlet. And then you have the standard hybrid Floating center console design, which is also found in the top limited trim and the gas models, which are shift by wire. You have the center differential lock, which splits power 50-50 front and rear, drive mode selection, automatic vehicle hold, hill descent control, backup camera, just has the standard backup camera, no parking sensors or anything like that. And then you have a wireless charging pad with no digital key functionality, given that was also removed from this vehicle. But you still have the standard proximity key fob, remote start, and BlueLink Plus, which is free for the lifetime of the first owner. Soft touch padded armrest here with a little bit of additional storage space and side. And then coming up top, we have the light gray headliner with a plastic pillars, soft touch headliner. There's the LED vanity illumination right there. Auto dimming interior rearview mirror, no garage home link, but we do have BlueLink, SOS, overhead LED illumination. And there you can see one of the biggest changes is the lack of the panoramic power sunroof, which formerly was on the hybrid conveniences. And now you have no sunroof at all. But there's a look at the front seat. Let's go ahead and take a look out back. So take a look at the back seats of the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. Unfortunate materials do not follow through from the front for this particular trim level. So here on the door panel, it's going to be all hard touch plastics, including for the armrest. You do have one bottle storage in the door pocket. There's going to be a look at the H-Tex perforated seats, which do have recline levers on both the left and right hand side. And then stepping inside is going to be very easy given the ride height and the fairly large door opening here. There's a quick look at the front dashboard. And in terms of rear seat amenities, we do have AC vents and 2 USB-C charging ports, map pockets on both of the front seats, and the seats do fold down 60-40 split, include a padded armrest with 2 additional cup holders, and you will have over LED lighting, which you can see right there, grab handles on all 4 doors. And in terms of space behind my approximate seating position, you can see the Tucson is very good with 5-6 inches, plenty of footroom, and headroom's not going to be an issue either, especially with the discontinuation of the panoramic sunroof, which this one does have, which I don't think impacted overall headspace too much. But the reclinability is going to be very good with these seats. It does have the cargo shade installed, which limits the amount you can actually recline the seat, but you can take that out and their seats will go back quite far. So take a look at the cargo capacity behind these second row seats. Of course, you will find that hands-free power liftgate on this vehicle. And then take a look behind the second row. You have a lot of additional accessories that this one's equipped with, as well as a lot of cargo area. On the left side, you have the 12-volt outlet, one LED light. You can fold down the seats with the levers on the left and right-hand side if you do wish. You can see all the accessories, and then underneath the floor, you'll find additional cargo space because the hybrids do not come with a temporary spare tire like the gas models. However, you can add that with a very minimal amount of modification, as the provisions are all in place right there. You can see the integrated cargo shade, which can be retracted or positioned in 2 different slots for additional reclinability from the second row seats. But overall, the Tucson is going to be one of the larger in the compact SUV segment in comparison to some of the key competitors. Now, coming to the passenger front seat, you will unfortunately just get a 4-way manual seat on this side, so no power adjustments, no height adjustment. There's a look at the seat. It does have the updated dashboard there with the integrated cargo shelf or cubby. Glove box is damped. Does not have LED illumination, but can fit all of your owner's literature and items in there. And yeah, that's going to be a look here at the interior of the SEL Convenience. Let's go ahead and pop the lid, see what powers this particular vehicle before wrapping this video up. Under the hood of every Tucson hybrid, you're going to find the same 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid paired to a single electric motor setup and a 6-speed automatic transmission. This puts out 231 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque through standard H-Track all-wheel drive. And as a whole, the Tucson Hybrid is not only going to be a very fuel-efficient vehicle, but also a fairly powerful one in the hybrid compact SUV space, getting over 36 mpg combined in this configuration and nearly 40 mpg combined in some of the more fuel-efficient versions, such as the Hybrid Blue SE. So that's going to do it here for this full walk-around tour of the 2026 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid SEL Convenience. If you guys enjoyed this video and or found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button below, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to check out and stay tuned for additional videos and side-by-side comparisons with the 2026 Tucson and Tucson Hybrid as they become available. Now, as I mentioned earlier on this video, the SEL Convenience lost a handful of features versus 2025, and I'm not sure exactly why that is. It could be due to the tariff impacts and implications, given these are still produced overseas in Korea. So maybe Hyundai is trying to mitigate some of the additional costs to import these vehicles in the United States by removing equipment and thus, costs to the manufacturing side of things. but it could just be something else in general. They want to kind of reposition this within the hybrid lineup. But nonetheless, it is a little bit unfortunate how it's worked out, given that you have to go all the way up to a fully loaded hybrid limited just to get things like a power sunroof at all, the more advanced driver assistance, safety tech, and premium audio, things like that. The list really goes on. There's a huge gap, not only in terms of price point, but also feature set between this convenience and now a fully loaded limited. It's over $7,000 more in terms of its MSRP because this trim got cheaper than last year, given they removed features. And the limited, I think, got slightly more expensive. So the gap between the two definitely did increase. And I still think this is a very solid option within the mid $30,000 price point for a fuel-efficient hybrid SUV, standard all-wheel drive. You have the H-Tex seating surfaces and a lot of the nicer creature comforts that I would think is a must-have in a vehicle for this price point segment in an everyday daily driver. So I don't think this is a bad trim level. It's just unfortunate that they get a little bit less equipped than that of last year. But overall, let me know what you guys think of the changes down in the description below. Check out some of those side-by-side comparisons if you guys want to know a little bit of a more illustrative format in terms of exactly what is different between the gas, the hybrid, and some of the different trim levels. And, with all being said, I just appreciate continued support, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.